Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Devontae Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. One count of aggravated DUI because your license was previously suspended or revoked. It's a Class 4 felony. One count of resisting arrest, passive resistance, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 12th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing July 16th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Robinson, I am setting bond in the amount of $5,000. It's a secured appearance bond. Ms. Robinson, I need you to please wait, sir. I'll give you an opportunity to be heard in just a moment. So it's a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $5,000 would be $500. If you pay that bond, Mr. Robinson, I need you to wait, sir. So I just need you to wait. Okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I understand you're concerned. I need you to wait for me to finish, and then I'll give you an opportunity to be heard. So, just a moment. All right. Again, $500 if you work with a bail bonding company. If you pay the bond, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll see pretrial services for supervision, and you will begin drug and alcohol testing and monitoring beginning on July 12th. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. Yes, Mr. Robinson, you have a question.
Sir, this is like the last account. I did everything. I went through the whole process. It's with Tollison, like literally. I wasn't even the one drinking and driving. You know, I can't really tell you too much. It was literally like a robbery. Like I was getting robbed where I was trying to get away from this dude. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't get out of the car. I had to jump over the seat, and that was his liquor. And then on top of that, look, I'm so sorry, sir, but I think that why can't I just get like the release? Like I'm gonna show up. Like I'm definitely gonna show up. Like I'll also pay the cost, whatever I have to pay, but I don't have any money. I got 4 kids that I'm taking care of right now, and I'm trying. And I barely have even a job. Like I'm working on side jobs and side gigs for flooring companies and stuff. I'm trying, you know. My security guard license is going to suspend in September.
Yes, so Mr. Robinson, the issue is, so you've got your Tollison DUI arrest back in 2023.
In August, yeah.
Right, in August, right. So we're less than a year away from that DUI arrest. And based on what I'm reading here, there is probable cause that you were the driver operating the vehicle.
Of the other one, my first DUI, but the second one...
Sir, I'm saying for this one. So here's...
He didn't see me driving at all. I ran up to him. I'm thinking I'm about to get help. And he literally pepper sprays me. He hits me with the, "Oh, is that your vehicle?" I said, "Yes, that's my vehicle." He said, "How you been drinking?" I said, "I was drinking way earlier, like around like 4 p.m. And he was like, "Well, put your hands behind your back." And I was like, "Why? Why am I getting detained?" He didn't even give me a chance to tell this man that there was literally a man that I seen from 2022 at a Circle K that literally pointed a beam at me, and he caught up to me. I don't know how, and he ended up taking what I had in my wallet, and he was trying to take the car too, and he told me to go somewhere, to take him somewhere, wherever I got the rest of the money at. And I don't even know what this guy was talking about, you know. In all of the false allegations, I walked up on, because I was on a whole different opposite side of the street. I walked up and the cop parked in the middle of the street. The cars were in front. I walked up on this cop and I told him.
Mr. Robinson, let me please explain. This is initial appearance court. So, Mr. Robinson, please listen. The only thing that I can consider as factual information here is what the police have written. What the police have written, there's a strong weight of evidence that in this, that you were the operator in control of the vehicle and that you were intoxicated at the time. That may not be the case. You're innocent unless proven guilty. But the state constitution requires me to set a bond based on a number of factors. one of which is public safety. And so when you just had a DUI arrest in 2023, and less than a year later you have another DUI arrest, which involves striking a vehicle, Mr. Robinson, I find the $5,000 bond is an appropriate bond.
I know it is.
I'm not going to
but
reduce it.
I don't have it.
Okay.
And I really need your help right now because my kids really need me at home today. I was counting on you, like literally.
And Mr. Robinson, the community is counting on me to protect them. That's what the state constitution requires me to do.
I don't even have a car. He was literally driving my car and holding me at gunpoint. What am I supposed to do?
Okay. So, Mr. Robinson, what you're telling me may be true, and you can speak with your attorney about that.
There's street lights with cameras on it.
Okay, and you can speak with your attorney, and your attorney can obtain the evidence.
I know,
but based off of the information that I have,
he's still trying to keep me in here, and I can literally just go through the process.
Okay. Mr. Robinson,
I'm not going to be operating a vehicle.
Mr. Robinson, I am keeping the bond in place.
Please.
So thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Here you go, sir.
Cindy Munoz and then Melvin De Leon will be on deck. Good evening, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Cindy Muniz,
Ms. Munoz. Ms. Munoz, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of one count of child or vulnerable adult abuse. It's a Class 5 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 12th, 8:30, 1 a.m., preliminary hearing July 16th, 8:30, 1 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am setting bond the amount of $5,000. That is a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $5,000 would be $500. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll see pretrial services for supervision, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You are not to possess any weapons, and you must obey the terms of any orders of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued, which may be issued. Ms. Munoz, do you have any questions?
Yes, I start a new job on 15th. I can't miss this. I already made commitment not to miss any days.
Okay.
I'm talking about our court here dates.
Right, so July 12th is the first court date. July
Okay.
16th at this time is the second court date, but usually that second one, they're going to reschedule to a different time. When you go on the 12th, they'll give you a different date.
Okay, and I don't get it. The victim? I mean, who's the victim?
The child would be the victim.
That's my son.
I understand. So at this time, you can't have contact with them. Another judge can modify that, but at this time, you can't have contact.
You can live with me.
You're going to need to make other arrangements then at this time, Ms. Munoz. Do you have any other questions, ma'am? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Melvin De Leon and then Branson Graham will be on deck. Good evening, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Melvin.
And your last name, sir?
De Leon.
All right. Thank you, Mr. De Leon. Sir, you're here on a justice court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. One count of failure to show your driver's license or ID, a Class 2 misdemeanor. One count of consuming liquor in a vehicle, a Class 2 misdemeanor. One count of DUI, Class 3 misdemeanor. You'll have an attorney appointed at your next hearing. That will be an arraignment hearing July 10th at 8:30 a.m. Oh, excuse me. I'm appointing you an attorney now. So I'm editing that paperwork, Giselle. So I've appointed you an attorney. You have an arraignment hearing at the West Mesa Justice Court July 10th, 8:30 a.m. And Mr. De Leon, I am setting bond the amount of $5,000. That is a secured appearance bond. You can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $5,000 would be $500. If you pay your bond, you are promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll see pretrial services for supervision, and you will begin drug and alcohol testing and monitoring. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. Mr. De Leon, do you have any questions?
Yeah. I just want to say that I was not the driver of the car. I was sitting on the passenger seat, the driver's seat.
Okay. So the rear passenger said you were sitting in the front passenger seat and that you were the person driving the vehicle.
No, I was not that.
Okay. And that may be, but this is what I have to take as factual information. Any other questions, sir?
No.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeLeon. Branson Graham and then Daniel Evans will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Branson Andrew Graham, 3.
Mr. Graham. Mr. Graham, you're here on an East Mesa Justice Court new case and on a Parker Justice Court warrant. So in your new case, sir, I find probable cause for the allegation, one count of aggravated DUI, because your license was suspended or revoked, Class 4 felony, and this is a Superior Court new case. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 12th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing July 16th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Sir, I'm setting bond amount of $1,500. You have a $1,000 bond in your Parker case. So total bond would be $2,500. That's secured appearance. You can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $2,500 would be $250. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You also will see pretrial services for supervision, and you will begin drug and alcohol testing and monitoring beginning on your first court date. You have the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Then, Mr. Graham, regarding your Parker Justice Court warrant, this is for excessive speeding and driving with your license suspended, revoked, or canceled. I've appointed you an attorney for limited representation regarding the bond issue only. You have an arraignment hearing at the Parker Justice Court, July 10th, 8:30 a.m. Again, bonds the amount of $1,000 with those same conditions and restrictions of release. And just so that you're aware, Mr. Graham, today is the 7th, so if you do pay your bonds, you'll need to be in Parker 3 days.
How do I pay these together?
So I don't, you'll have to talk to the officers about that. I don't know the details on that. The officers in the jail you'll have to talk to.
In the jail?
Yeah, so back in the jail when you leave the courtroom, there'll be officers that you can ask about. So they're 2 different bonds? It's 2 different bonds. I don't know whether you can pay them together or whether they have to be paid separately. Any other questions, sir? All right. Thank you, Mr. Graham. Daniel Evans and then Miguel Arzola will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Daniel Evans.
Mr. Evans. Mr. Evans, you're here on a Superior Court new case and on 3 probation violation warrants. In your new case, I find probable cause for the allegations, 1 count of possession or use of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of obstruction of justice, refusing to provide your true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 12th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing July 16th, 8:31 a.m. Mr. Evans, I am setting bond amount of $500 in this case. Between your 3 probation cases, your bond is $2,000. So total bond from all 4 is $2,500. It's a secured appearance bond. You can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. That would be $250. If you pay that bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you'll see pretrial services for supervision. You also have the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Then, Mr. Evans, regarding your 3 probation violation warrants, these are for alleged violations of terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing July 15th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Bonds in the amount of $500 in 2 of them, $1,000 in the 3rd. Again, all 4 cases, bond is $2,500. You have the same conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Evans, do you have any questions? All right. Thank you, sir.